Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute, but this video is going to make up for it, I promise. Wait until you see this one. Alright, let's get into DIY number one. We have a mini hay pail. So you find these in the Dollar Tree, 3 come in a pack in the wedding section. I cut this out on my Cricut, and it says Farm Life. Real easy, real little and cute, and it fits perfect on the front of this little pail. Right here, I have one of them adult hula skirts from the Dollar Tree. And my kids play with this all the time, so it's all knotted up. Please forgive me. But on the rope, it's like looped around the rope. So, almost like macrame. All you do is loosen that up and it pulls right off. No need to cut it with scissors and get all uneven lengths. So what I did was I took like 3 knots off, and I have a little bit of raffia left over. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to cut it with my scissors in little pieces. And the purpose of the hula skirt is I want to fill the bottom of that bucket up. Because I only have this is before I went to the store and got more. I only had a little bit of raffia. So I'm filling the bottom of the pail up. So when I put the little bit of raffia I do have on top, it looks full. And it looks like it all matches. It's all cohesive. It's all the same color. And it looks like it's filled with hay. And this is cute for a tiered tray, a floating shelf, someplace small where you thought you couldn't fit anything. This will fit perfect. Especially if you're into farmhouse like me. I am in the middle of redecorating my whole entire house. And I'm doing all farmhouse, and I could not be happier. Now when I walk in my house, it feels good to be home. So if this matches your decor style, you're going to absolutely love this little mini DIY. And how easy is it? Even if you don't have a Cricut, you can put sticker letters on there. You can put a stencil and paint it on there. You can hand write it on there with a marker. Whatever works for you. I did all of them things before I got my Cricut. Here it is, done and completed. How cute is that? Let's get into DIY number 2. We're going to do a wooden farmhouse. And I got one of these wooden shaped houses from the Dollar Tree. Here's a skew. And as y'all know, any wood I get from anywhere, doesn't have to be the Dollar Tree, I sand it down. So before I paint, I do sand this piece of wood. We're going to paint this white. And voila, through the magic of the camera, it is painted. How do you guys like that? If it was that quick in real life. Anyway, so I got this piece of scrap paper from Hobby Lobby, and I absolutely love the gray distressed shiplap. So I'm going to trace around my house, cut it out, and Mod Podge this scrap paper onto our little wooden house that we just painted white. And I don't show you Mod Podging part. If you want to see that, there's other videos where I show you how to Mod Podge. If you haven't seen any of my videos, please go back and check those out, and I will show you exactly what to do. When we Mod Podge, remember, always sand down in a downward motion after your Mod Podge has dried. So we're going to put this right on here, and boom, done. So now that we have this shiplap paper on here, it looks awesome. I made this on my Cricut. It says farm fresh, and it's got a little chicken, a pig, and a cow. Now, when you apply your Cricut vinyl to scrap paper, you have to be very, very careful when you lift that transfer paper up that you don't take the scrapbook paper off with it, unless you Mod Podge it first. Now, I found this little farmhouse ribbon at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make a simple shoelace bow. I think I dovetailed the ends, maybe. Yeah, I did. I dovetailed the ends of this, and I put it right at the top. And then I had actually went out and got more raffia. Yes, I did. I made a special Walmart trip just for my raffia. And I am going to make another shoelace bow with my raffia. And I'm going to put it dead center of the farmhouse bow. I'm going to glue it there and trim it. And she is done. Take a look at that. DIY number 3. We're going to do a mini rolling pin. So I got these wooden mini rolling pins at Hobby Lobby. You get 3 in a pack, I believe, for like $3.99. And if you get it when they're wood, it's 40% off. You're paying like $2, $2.50. Now, I am going to paint the handles black and the ends of the rolling pin black. It doesn't matter if you get any on the rolling pin itself, because we are going to put this scrapbook paper over it. You guessed it. So even if you get a little paint on the rolling pin, doesn't matter. We're covering it up. I'm also going to Mod Podge this to the rolling pin. I am not going to tape it. I'm not going to use a glue stick. I want it to stay permanently. Here it is, Mod Podged on. That wasn't enough for me. So I take a little bit of jute, and I'm going to wrap it around the rolling pin and make a simple bow and glue it, and what a difference it makes. You'll see here in a second. Isn't this so much better? It really gives it that pop. DIY number 4, we're going to make a mini ladder. Get out your tumbling tower blocks, guys. You're going to need 11 tumbling tower blocks. 4 for each side, 3 rungs to the ladder. And I'm just breaking out my silicone mat here that I got from the Dollar Tree. You can use the super glue wood glue. Me, myself, I prefer Titebond. They have Titebond Original and they have Titebond Premium. I'm going to use the original for this one. And I'm just going to do my 2 sets of 4. I'm going to glue my rungs in my creases where the ends meet. And you know I got to sand this down because the tumbling tower blocks are never even. So I like everything to be even and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this ladder down. And make sure all the rungs line up with the sides and the sides line up with the rungs and it's smooth and you can't see the cracks really. And then we're going to go ahead and paint it white. And it's painted. I love this. I'm having way too much fun with transitions tonight, guys. So get out your ink black chalk paint by Waverly. We are going to give this ladder a really heavy dry brush. So if you never dry brush before, you basically take your stencil brush, your chippy brush, whatever brush you have, dip it in your paint, and then get all the excess off on a paper towel. And then you go ahead and paint. That's what we call a dry brush, like I'm doing here. When I say heavy, I like to go really, really heavy in some spots, and in other spots I do a light one. And you'll see here in a second, I'll be done, and I'll give you the whole tour of the ladder, so to speak. And this is what I mean by heavy. If it was light, it wouldn't be this dark. Now, I ordered these beads on like Temu or something, and the majority of these beads were all spacer beads. The really, really tiny beads that you can't do anything with. I'm going to show you how to use them up. So this is an extra large craft stick from Walmart. We're going to cut it to about 2 inches wide. And I am going to cut this with my miter shears. And I do have to score it a few times for it to break, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and sand it and give it some round corners, because this little piece of popsicle stick is going to be a sign. Now, I am going to paint this little piece of stick white, and we're going to let it dry and do our thing here in a second with these beads. I just want to make mention too, you guys don't have to follow this to a T. I want you to make it your own. So whatever I put on my sign, you do not have to duplicate it to a T. Change it up, change the colors up. Do what you like. That's the whole purpose of DIYing. To make what you like on a budget and make it look good, honey. So here I have my rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just trying to find a word that I want to put on my sign. Just one word that's going to make it feel inviting, and it's going to look high-end as well. So I'm just going through measuring what words will actually fit on my little sign here. And I came to the conclusion that I'm going to go with the word home. I like the font of the word home. I like the way it flowed on my little sign. And so that's what I went with. You can pick whatever word you want. You can use a Cricut. You can handwrite it. You can use rub-ons. Do what works for you. And I like to do these things out of stuff I already have in my stash. If you notice, this is tumbling tower blocks. I always have those. I always have extra large popsicle sticks. I always have rub-ons. I always have paint. So this DIY right here cost me absolutely nothing because I already had this stuff. Look at that. I think that looks fabulous. Now I'm going to dry brush the edges of my sign. Not heavy, very, very lightly. Now I'm threading a needle with them spacer beads. And I'm going to make a hanger for my sign with those spacer beads. And let me tell you something, guys. This looks fabulous, okay? I mean, absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put one line of glue on each side of the sign. And I'm going to hold it there and boom. I'm like, you know what? It's missing something. It almost looks too heavy on the right, if that's possible. So I go ahead and I take my really skinny buffalo check ribbon. I think it's 1/8 of an inch. And I make another simple bow. And I just put a dot of glue so I can take it off when I want to. And I go ahead and I glue it to the top of my ladder. If you haven't noticed the theme here, it's black and white. And I just think this is so stinking cute and absolutely darling. You can put this anywhere. You can hang this on the wall. You can put it on a shelf. You can put it on your end table, your coffee table, your tier tray, wherever. I absolutely love this DIY. And the best part was it was free. Absolutely free. So let's go ahead and add that to our mini collection. DIY number 5. We're going to do a mini breadboard. I'm sure you've seen these in the Dollar Tree. They come out about a month or two before fall, and then you never see them again until the following year, and everybody buys them up. So when they come out, I buy cases, y'all, and I mean cases. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint this breadboard in Snow White by Waverly. And I cut this out on my Cricut. It says, "Welcome to our farmhouse." And I thought this was just cohesive with what we have going already. Now, these bows, they come out around Christmas time. And I absolutely love these bows. They're pre-made. All you got to do is cut the little bread tie off on the back and glue them on, and you're good to go. The problem is, this bow, the strands hanging down were too long. So I had to trim them. No big deal. This is a little harder to cut because it does have a plastic coating on the back. So I trimmed those down, glued it to my breadboard. Sorry, can't speak. And done. All these DIYs are easy and high end, and they do not hurt your pockets. DIY number 6. We're going to make a double-sided mini chalkboard. Again, Dollar Tree craft aisle, $1.25. Okay? Best $1.25 you'll ever spend. I'm going to go ahead and cut this wrapper off, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to paint this mini chalkboard. And if you haven't guessed it by now, we're going to paint it black, not white. So go ahead and get your ink chalk paint out by Waverly. And boom, it's painted. And we are going to, again, dry brush this mini chalkboard, but we're going to dry brush it in white this time. So go ahead and get your Snow White out by Waverly. Get your stencil brush or your chippy brush or whatever brush you have on hand. Dip it in that paint, dip it on your paper towel, and go ahead and give it a dry brush. On the chalkboard, though, I will say, I like taking a popsicle stick, dipping it in the paint, and just running it around the edges. Alright, so she's done. And I printed this out on my Cricut in white vinyl. We're doing the reverse. And it says, Farm Fresh, Served Daily. The problem I had here was the I in daily disappeared. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's already on the board. Where'd my eye go? Okay, I got white paint markers. Not a problem. I swear by these paint markers, by the way. They're the Fine Tip by Craftsmart. Absolutely love these paint markers. So we're going to go ahead and put the the I in daily. And you will never even notice that it was missing. You would never even notice that it's an ink paint marker or a... I cannot speak tonight. I don't know what is going on. It's been a while since I did a video, can you tell? Life has been hectic. So here she is, she's done. DIY number 7, we're going to make a mini window. I don't know if you guys remember these windows. They came out at Christmas time. They had ugly Christmas wreaths on them. I stripped it all down. I took everything off. And we're left with just the window. We're going to go ahead and fill up that hole at the top. I got some dry decks from Home Depot. I like this stuff because it's pink. And when it's dry, it turns white. So you know when to sand it. Alright, now that's done. And I have this little mini grapevine wreath that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I think 10 of them or something like that for $5. I am going to unwind it. And I'm only going to take like the first couple loops. And I am going to make it smaller. So we can make a little wreath for our window here. And I'm going to wrap it all the way around with some jute twine to hold it together. And I have some boxwood leaves, a pick from Walmart, I believe. I think this was like $1.27. And I'm just going to pull like one piece off. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut every single one off individually. And I am going to glue it, stick it in the jute vine, or the jute rope, sorry, and glue it in there. And we have a mini boxwood wreath. Now, take your jute twine and go through the center of the wreath, through the middle of the window, and tie a knot in the back. And that's how we're going to hang this wreath. I did not want to glue it because maybe I want to change it out. Maybe I want to decorate the wreath. Maybe I want to put a different wreath. Maybe I don't want any wreath at all. And this alleviates the painstaking task of, one, locating the same window all over again and cleaning it off, patching up the hole, and just going through the whole nine when I don't need to. So you may notice too that I took a lighter to the jute twine after I wrapped it around our wreath. And that's because I like to get all them little hairs off. So I always burn my jute twine after I wrap something. Even with the jute rope, same thing. Now, we tied this to the back of our window. We're going to cut it. And that's it. This DIY is done. How amazing is that? You cannot tell me that's not absolutely adorable. DIY number 8. We're going to do a mini barn door. Now, this one's a little bit more in depth. So, these wood planks, they come 6 in a pack at the Dollar Tree. You're going to take one out. And I am going to cut about an inch off. So, I put it on my cutting mat. And I cut exactly one block off, which is 1 inch. And I scored a couple of times with my utility knife, and it comes right off. Sand it down, and we're going to paint this white. Soft white, Snow White by Waverly, sorry. And she's done. Now, I got these bamboo sticks on Amazon. I believe you get like 100 for like $10. They're really cheap. And these things come in handy for everything. I kid you not. So I'm going to measure the door. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the door in bamboo, basically. So I'm going to measure each side. And I'm not going to double up my measurements. Because you don't know if one side is longer than the other. Which it was, I may add. Maybe my cut was off. Maybe the plank was off. Who knows? That's why you always make your own separate measurements. Never duplicate them. And I am just measuring everything up. Now I got all my pieces for my little door. I am going to paint them in ink chalk paint by Waverly. Here we go. They're painted. I am going to glue the pieces down with Titebond. And I have these little mini clips I got from Home Depot for like 98 cents. I love these clips. They're so much stronger than the Dollar Tree clips. I do use a Dollar Tree clip here, though. I think I ran out. And here's where I notice, you know what? I need a little piece for the middle. So I go ahead, I cut my piece for the middle. I paint that black. I glue that down. And then I have another idea. I get out my regular size popsicle sticks, and I want to do like a board on an angle. So you'll see here what I mean in a minute. I got the regular popsicle sticks from Dollar Tree, and I'm like, okay, I want like a cool design. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna measure it on an angle, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trace it with my pencil. These miter shears have a 45-degree angle, so before I do anything, I cut it to the 45-degree angle, just because I know if there's a corner, I know I have two 45-degree angles, right? So if I can get two 45-degree angles inadvertently perfect, coming to a point, then it should fit. Well, I was wrong. So then I had to go back and I had to do it with a pencil. So I got that one to fit, and I have to do the next one. And this was tedious and time-consuming, I'm not going to lie. But the end result was totally worth it. Now, as you can see, I got it in there, and it looks like a barn door. Now, right here is a bamboo skewer. I'm going to cut 3 pieces. I'm going to cut a piece that's a little shorter than an inch, and then 2 really tiny pieces. And I'm going to glue them. I am going to glue, well, it's hard to explain, but You see that right there? I glue one piece to one side, one piece to the other side to make like a handle for our door. And then I'm going to paint it in Snow White by Waverly. There we go. Our handle's painted, and I am going to glue this baby on and just set it there. We're going to make some mini houses. So these mirror sticky houses are in like the home decor section at the Dollar Tree, and they have a sticky back. And I peel off the sticky back and I put it to a plain piece of paper or cardstock and I stick it. So it doesn't have a sticky back anymore. That's all that's for. And it has like a clear coating over the front because it's a mirror. Take that off, sand it down, and then paint it in black. Make sure you sand it down really well. And then I'm going to take a little piece of my bamboo stick and I'm going to cut it down to size. And I'm going to glue it to the back so it stands up. And I'm going to outline it in white. Number 10. This one's the doozy. This is the mother lode right here. So I got these 3 trays from Hobby Lobby. They're originally $17.99, and I got them for 50% off. Yes, I got all 3 for $9. When I seen these, I knew immediately I wanted to make a tier tray. So this is a candlestick in the wood section. And they had another one just like it, but it was missing the bottom. I knew I was going to get that for a discount. So I got both these pieces for $1.99. Total. Real wood. Okay? And I had to have my finial. You already know. Got this at Hobby Lobby as well. And that's going to go for our top. And then, as far as feet were concerned, I did not know if I wanted to use these big blocks that I found in Hobby Lobby, which are these, and they're solid, and they're big. They're really big. They're bigger than the ones at Dollar Tree by far. Or if I wanted to use these round knobs, I guess you would call them, but they're flat on one side. And this bag of, I think it was 12 for $5.99. I always buy my wood there when it's on sale. So you would actually put the flat side to the bottom of the tray, and the round side would be touching your table or wherever you placed your tier tray. I tried both, and I was happy with the really big blocks because it sat up further, and it looked better. So I'm going to take these trays out and I'm going to sand them one by one. They were really rough cuts. So I sand them super good. I mean, they are smoother than a baby's bottom when I am done. Now that they're sanded, I'm going to go ahead and glue on my feet. So I wanted to place them correctly and space them out. And what had happened was, really funny story. I'm using my premium type on here, by the way. I want to make sure they stay. I would put one foot on and spin it around to put the next foot, and it would, like, slide. So my feet actually moved on me, and had I not noticed it, this would have looked crazy. So anyway, we're going to paint all 3 trays in Snow White by Waverly. And I am going to give this a really good distressing. And the way this turns out, it's absolutely stunning. This tiered tray is what makes our minis and everything on the tiered tray look super high-end. Again, everything is done in black and white except for the tiered tray. It's all white. All white. So we're going to paint our candlesticks and our finial in Snow White by Waverly. And then we are going to put our super huge tiered tray together. When I say huge, guys, the tiered tray I had before this one, I did it with the stove burner covers. Yes, I jumped on that bandwagon as well. And that has nothing on this tier tray compared in size and weight. I used, I think, glass candle holders for the center of my old tier tray, and it was super heavy. This thing is super light and sturdy and will hold whatever I want. You can see the size. I'm putting my ruler down, and I still have a good 3 inches left. So, I mean, this is 15 inches here. Like, the inside is 15 inches. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find my center. So I can obviously glue my candlestick in, put my second layer on, find the center on that one, put my second candlestick on, and then the third one, and our finial. So I mark the center, and I spin it, and I go around with the ruler, and I make sure it is my center. Now, you didn't see there, but I'm using hot glue wood glue sticks by Sharebonder. They're a little bit more expensive. They're a little bit more yellow in color, but they're meant for wood on wood. Okay? Now, I will tell you, I should have never used hot glue. I should have used wood glue through and through, because the hot glue was for an immediate hold, so I can just keep going and build it. And I shouldn't have used it. It gave me a space, and I had to fill in the space, because, if you don't, it's just, I should have used wood glue. Learn from my mistakes. So here, it's distressed, it's put together. It is done, y'all. Look at how massive this tier tray is. And then, I said, you know what? I gotta put a clear coat on this, because I don't want anything to happen to this tiered tray. I am in love with this tiered tray. This tiered tray will hold anything my little heart desires and more, okay? So I had to keep moving the camera back, because that's how massive this thing is. Now here, this is chalked matte clear, and it's a clear coat. So, and it's by Rust-Oleum, and it dries pretty fast. It's insane how fast it really dries. And for the feet, I just cut out some sticky cork board from Dollar Tree, and I stuck it to the bottom of the feet, because wherever I put my tier tray, I don't want my feet on my tier tray to get scuffed up, and I don't want whatever surface I'm putting my tier tray on to get scuffed up. So this solves both problems. And I didn't add any glue. I just used the adhesive that was on the back of the cork. And let me tell you, it's holding up fabulously. So she's done. She's sturdy. I mean, I shook this thing. I made sure she wasn't going to collapse. She wasn't going to break. And I can't say it enough. I'm in love with this tier tray, y'all. If you're in Hobby Lobby and you see these 3 trays, please pick them up. Now, let's admire what we did. We did our house. We did our little hay pail. We did our mini ladder. Our mini rolling pin. Our mini breadboard. Our double-sided chalkboard. Our mini houses, our window with the mini wreath, our farm door, and look at that. Tell me that doesn't look fresh out of a magazine. And that mini book stack right there is made out of tumbling tower blocks. I have a DIY on that on my YouTube channel, so go check it out. Guys, this is absolutely amazing. This looks like it could be in, like, the Pottery Barn catalog, the Kirkland's catalog, online catalog, wherever. It's super high-end looking, and it just elevated my space 10 notches. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, tell your friends. If you want to see more DIYs like this one, shopping hauls, and room makeovers, this is where you want to be. And remember, you're the real MVP. You're smart, you're beautiful, you're talented, you're strong, and you can do anything you put your mind and your heart to. Links will be in the description box below.